What do you want to say, Daddy? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Daijon.
Happy birthday, Boo Bear. That mama.
Welcome to the Ryan Holtz Show. On this show, you can expect the latest, the greatest, and the best curated content on business, marketing, automotive, and lifestyle. Sit back, put in your earplugs, and let's enjoy the ride. Now, as always, I want to make sure you get the best in content that will help you monster your goals, both personally and professionally. I want to keep this conversation going, so please check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at Ryan Holtz 1. And then go over to facebook.com/Ryan Holtz Marketing, and we can chat there too. I also want you to visit www.ryanholtz.ca, as this will be where I put my almighty beloved show notes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am proud to bring you the Ryan Holtz Show. Let the beat drop and enjoy.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 19 of the Ryan Holtz Show podcast, and it is brought to you by my son who turned 1, Mr. Daijon Ryan Holtz, who you heard his lovely voice at the beginning of this podcast. Everyone, I just want to give you a little bit of a backdrop of how I'm feeling and the rejuvenation, the re-energization, the clarity. Just finished a workout, got back from Cancun, Mexico with the fam. Amazing trip. Just ready to kill the rest of this year. We have, about 6-7 weeks left in the year, and we're going to make it great. But I just want to talk about Cancun, Mexico. I want to talk about just the perspective that I got from this trip. This trip was really, really different in the sense that it was kind of like a triple threat. So was brought there by a company. So Ryan Holtz Marketing was brought there to do a keynote presentation for a company called Rifco National Auto Finance. Shout out to Rifco to do a keynote on digital marketing for automotive dealerships. So that was one reason I was there. And as soon as that happened, I said, let's make a family vacation out of this trip. And I think it was really cool because you could, it's always nice when you get to do business and a little bit of pleasure. So I said, you know what, let's do 10 days. 1 day is going to be taken up for the Cancun trip. And, away we went, and it was fantastic. So every time I do speak at a conference or I do take a trip, I get really, really philosophical. And I think that if you're in business or you're somebody who's, trying to achieve goals, when you hit these kind of milestones, humility always has to kick in. And I'm still always so humble, and I always will be humbled to the fact that a company's actually paid money to have me, my family, come out to do a keynote presentation. And I think that's a milestone for anybody. I've done a lot of them now, and everyone always feels like the first one, and I'm so grateful and humbled for that. It's been such a great journey, and I always say, if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business owner, all of it is yours. The shit is yours. The good times are yours. The milestones are yours. The losses are yours. The wins are yours. Everything is yours. If you're the number one, you're the number one. You can't look over your left shoulder, your right shoulder behind you and say, oops, I'm going to blame this person, I'm going to blame that person. It just doesn't work like that. It's all you. Everything lies and falls on your shoulders. And Ryan Holtz podcast show nation listeners out there, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the feeling of work. I love the feeling of getting completely crushed. I love the feeling of winning. I love the feeling of losing. It's the win and learn. So fired all the way back about 12 days ago, hopped on the plane. Daijon is our son, and we're brand new parents, and we never flew with him yet. And I got to give shout outs to the Edmonton International Airport, WestJet, amazing service. I'm actually writing a little blog on the whole experience, a travel guide for parents. how to travel with your kids, first-time parents, what to bring, what not to bring, how to pack, where to stay, how to fly, what not to fly. So that's coming to the ryanholtz.ca blog, and I know that will be a great resource for anybody who's looking for that kind of information or content. But from the start of just going through the security to, checking the bags to everything, WestJet made this flight so good. And we always fly plus on WestJet because we do like the extra space. And for Daijon, because he's under 2, he doesn't get his own seat. But when you fly plus on WestJet, the middle seat's blocked out. If anybody's flew WestJet, you know what I'm talking about. So that was huge, and it was a great flight all the way down. The second shout out goes to the Westin Laguna Mar Resort in Cancun, Mexico, and SPG. We're an SPG member. Absolutely amazing service. The Westin, if people aren't aware of it, half of it's like a timeshare, and then half of it's just condos. So it's not your all inclusive. It's a little bit more mature clientele. It's a 5-star through and through and through and through. So if you're traveling with kids and you need space and you want great service, this is the place to travel. And again, I'm including them in my blog. Shout out to Westin Laguna Mar. Interesting. I'm there. I'm in Cancun. We're traveling. Feel so damn good. And I'm at a place in my life that I just feel like, wow, sometimes when you put your head down for years and you do all this hard work and you just put your head up and you're just like, wow, look what I built. And for me, I built my own little mini empire for sure. And I just really enjoy meeting new people and having conversations with people who are like-minded, who are trying to do different things, but aren't just all about the talk. They're actually, doing the execution. Talking means absolute crap. I mean, if you're just somebody who talks, keep talking, right? And it is like the saying, if you're a dude who says you're a leader and nobody's following you, you're just a dude taking a walk. And that is the reality of this. So if you're going to talk and no execution, don't talk to me maybe, because I'm all about the execution. I'm all about the reality. I'm all about the journey. I'm all about the failing. I don't think anybody has to go out or come out of the gate and portray this life that is of success and amazement and perfection. I want to know the dirt. I want to know the darkness. I want to know everything when it comes to that. And when I travel, it really gives me time to think about all these things and take in all the experiences. And what I mean by that is it's taking in the sights. It's hearing the different languages. It's seeing how a completely different set of people who occupy the same world in the same space you do live, breathe, react, talk. And Cancun, Mexico, for me, this was a different trip because it was a lot more relaxed. But usually when my wife and I travel, we always get off the resort and go down, kind of find the seedy back alleys and see the real Cancun or the real place. We like that real feel so that we can actually get a sense of the culture. Some might say we're maybe risk takers in that sense, and definitely we are. But this trip was definitely a little bit more, I'll call it Kool-Aid with a little bit of twist. But majority Kool-Aid because, we have our son with us, and it's our first time traveling, and we want to make sure everybody's safe and all is well. And if you're a parent, you totally understand where we're coming from on that. But I just, from the massage therapist to the person who came out and did your towels by the poolside every morning, shout out to Luma Lee. This guy is a 44-year-old Mexican soccer coach. And he's also does a lot of the maintenance by the pool. So he's the guy that comes out and will set up your towels and stuff like that. And every morning he works 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'm an early riser. So I'd always be down at the poolside, probably like 6:30 in the morning. And him and I would have a conversation every single morning. He only gets Fridays off. So he works 6 days a week. And he's 44 years old. And I think he looks like he's like maybe my age, which is 33. His skin is glistening. He's got the humidity going, and he's happy. And I always like to try to maybe push a little bit when I'm talking to people in different countries, especially on resorts and stuff, because when they get to work, as you know, if you have traveled or you are in that environment, they are almost putting on a little bit of a face for you. I mean, you don't see any workers there walking around looking sad or depressed or, upset or anything. And I mean, I'm a human being, and I know that everybody has problems and everybody has issues in life. So I'm always trying to figure out, I asked him, I said, Lumali, are you happy? And he said, yeah, I'm happy. And he kind of gave me the resort answer first. And, I said, no, human to human, man. This is not like, I'm a tourist or I'm a guest at the hotel and, you're going to, fancy. Just dude to dude, man. Are you happy? And he's like, yeah, I'm very happy, but I'm a little stressed out right now. I said, why are you stressed out? He says, I coach this soccer team of kids. And I said, okay. And he's like, we've been getting our butt kicked in games. The last game was 7-0. And I said, okay. And he said, what would you tell them to keep them motivated? And I said, I think that everybody focuses so much on winning and losing, and they don't focus on the middle part, which is the journey. And I mean, I'm not the only one to say this. There's so many other people out there that will talk about the journey and the hustle and the grind and all that. But I mean, life really is about the journey. It's about how we're getting there, where we're going, where we're coming from, how we're doing things, where we're going to do things, what kind of obstacles are in the way, what obstacles aren't in the way, and all of these various different topics, and instances are all a part of the journey. And I basically said, you need to give those kids the message of, you're not winning and losing, you're winning and learning. And even though you're getting your butt handed to you 7-0, there's a lot of victories in that loss that have to be clearly illuminated and explained and have the proper perspective put on them. And, again, just a side conversation with the guy that's just putting down the towels at the pool. And he's a fantastic human being. And I can't think about, we're so blessed. We come from Canada. I mean, I'm Canadian based. And I get to, go up in the air with my family, come on down, enjoy this beautiful vacation. It's a little bit of work, maybe 15% of work, but 85% of, relax and enjoy and come back up in the air, come back to Canada, all is well, greeted nicely, and I mean, nobody's bothering you. You don't have any third world issues or, of course we all have problems and things, but there's nothing that's really harming any of that or getting in your way. I mean, if anything is getting in your way, it's usually you getting in your way. So Cancun, Mexico is just Cancun, Mexico, and I love it. And it's another stamp on the passport. It's another experience that's ingrained in the memory. It's very special because I got to take my son and my wife on a great vacation and a great time, and that always feels good. And seeing Daijon happy and enjoying his time and seeing his feet in the water and the ocean and in the sand, and it really is special. Shout out again to Westin Laguna Mar Resort because they hooked us up with a nice birthday cake. They came up and sang happy birthday. Daijon got sang happy birthday by all the people in the pool. It was really, really a special moment and a special time. So why did I want to hop on and do this podcast? I want to hop on and do this podcast because I think and I feel that it's really important to convey the whole story of everything. And again, what you put in is what you get out. And I've had several messages from people from the podcast and through social media just saying, Ryan, every time we look at your stories, it looks like, life is always so good and, you're doing everything and the successes are there and everything. And I kid you not, I never want to portray something that is not accurate. My life is fantastic. Now, do I have problems and issues and do things arise in my life that are, kind of make me kind of tickle my neck a little bit? Absolutely they do. But I will tell you this, they are all very small things. They are all very irrelevant. And I think it's because of my perspective that my eye is always on the prize, that I understand that some shit is going to have to come along the way in order for me to get to where I want to go. I'm so obsessed with getting to where I want to go that nothing is going to get in the way. I'm going to give you a football analogy. When I used to play football, I was a running back. And every time before that ball was snapped and I'm looking at that quarterback's ass, and then I'm seeing all the front seven on the other side with the middle linebackers and the Sam and Will linebacker, and they're looking just to take my head off. I only have a few options once that ball is snapped, and it's either I can run through them, avoid them, run around them, but at the end of the day, they're chasing me, and I got to get through them, and I can't do it side to side or going backwards. I have to go forwards. Now, it's interesting. Sometimes would I run through them? Absolutely. I would just run over them. Sometimes would they smash me in the gut and I would lose maybe 2 yards, and I did fall back 100%. But man, I'm telling you, it taught me something that transfers into every aspect of life. Is you really got to take everything into perspective and understand that it's a one big giant game. And it's not about what I'm getting or what I'm earning or what I'm achieving in terms of material. It's about the fucking game. It's about the game. It's always been about the game. This speaking engagement I had it marks the over 100 keynotes / workshops that I've done in 4 years, and I think that's really special. And but I felt this keynote was not my best performance, and that is the reality of it. And I'm very hard on myself in terms of wanting to go out and put on a good show and give great value and content. Sometimes I have bad days. I don't feel that it was a fail. I think I did pretty good at it, but for my standard, it was not to the standard I would like. And that's for various reasons, as just I want perfection and I want great. I think that the people who attended the presentation got great value, got great claps at the end, great celebration. But, I took some really good knocks and learns from this past one. And people, say to me, Ryan, do you get nervous before you speak in front of crowds? And I said, absolutely, every single time I do. And, naturally people say, well, what kind of gets you over the nervosity of speaking in front of a crowd? And I said, preparation, obviously experience, but preparation I think is key. And it's just figuring out the message you want to say and saying it to that crowd. And I think public speaking is one of the hardest things you can do in life, because you don't control basically anything. I mean, you have various different personalities who like to take in content in their own ways. You have definitely different types of egos and attitudes and everything in that room. And you're basically coupling and curating a presentation that you're hoping is going to at least give 1 or 2 nuggets of benefit or value to each person sitting there. And I think that I do that. But there's always improvements. And, I came back out of that and I said, Ryan, you got to improve. If you didn't feel that it was up to your standard, that's on you and you only. And of course, I always talk to my wife and family about these kinds of things, and people will always say, oh, Ryan, you're hard on yourself and this and that. But at the end of the day, I don't care about what they think. I care about that it wasn't up to my standard. My inner me is my enemy, and it's true. But that's also why I've gotten to where I've gone in such a short period of time. Do I consider myself successful? Absolutely. Not because of what everybody else would think or say, but because of how I feel and what my version of success is 100%. But again, not everything is always perfect, but it in all honesty, it kind of is, because I really love the things that kind of irk me and twerk me and all these things too. And I'm somebody who pokes the bear, and the bear is going to poke back once in a while. And when I get poked, I have to understand that it's a game. And if I went out and poked, I got to get some pokes back. And that's just the way it is. So I hope everybody who's listening, if you're standing beside somebody or you're listening to somebody or you're jogging, running, nursing, going to the bathroom, doing whatever you do, the next person you see, poke them, tell them it's a game, tell them to chill out, tell them that life is too damn good and the time is the number one asset. So this is the Ryan Holtz Show podcast, baby. I am telling you, this show, my only goal for this show is to have a massive impact in a massive way on several people. And my goal as it stands right now is to have the Ryan Holtz Show podcast in the top 10 podcasts on iTunes in the marketing and advertising section or lifestyle section, whatever. That is my goal. It is a tall order. It is a huge goal, but I am willing to put in the work. It is going to take patience. It is going to take consistency. It's going to take being a practitioner of this thing, and it's going to take time. And most of all, it's going to take your guys' ears who are actually donating some of your time to listen to the show, in which I'm gratefully humble for, and I absolutely love you for it. So tying into, we got a lot of messages coming in about the show, and I'm going to give some shout out love right now. First shout out goes to @Mick Lolaconda. Hey, Ryan, thank you. Same on your end. I see the podcast is blowing up. Exciting. So that you had some awesome personalities on. Keep up the show. I really love it. This is a direct message by Will Cabral on Instagram. He said, hey, Ryan, I met you around a year ago while I was working at Zara and messed up your pant exchange. And I've been listening to your podcast ever since. Just wanted to say I'm very grateful for you providing all that value and being an inspiration to me as I've grown up in Edmonton my whole life as an aspiring entrepreneur wanting to do well in business. Your latest episode with the Ward 9 candidate was really insightful and entertaining, and I just wanted to encourage you to keep going. Will, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are absolutely amazing, and I just can't thank you enough. This one comes from Office Yogini. Ruba, I love you. Ryan, dear, I respect you immensely. I'm listening to all your podcasts. This comment, like every single post, whether it resonates with me or not, if she basically just said, your podcasts speak my mind. They're naturally spoken. You're very entertaining. I don't even get bored listening to them. I'm even yogiing to them, which I think is fantastic. Yannick Noah, I know we don't know each other, but your podcasts have been very helpful. If you ever come to Vancouver and in need of anything, please don't be shy. Talking with you would be great. Jody Nina, just listen to your podcast, episode 9. So good, so good. I would have loved to hear more about why grandma wants people to button up, and I died laughing about how the feet thing stirred up a ruckus with your peeps. Jesse and Photo, again, shout out to them. Good comments. I'm just going to read a few at a time every couple episodes, but literally I've been getting hundreds of messages, and I cannot thank you. I cannot thank you enough, and I really appreciate you. So we are at the 21 second mark prior to editing. I want everyone who's listening to the show, keep listening, keep subscribing. Please rate the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. It really helps the podcast out. Please share it out on your social media. And I understand that, sharing something out on your social media is of the utmost endorsement, and your time, your energy, and your following is worth something. And I thank you for it. Please give me your feedback. Shoot an email to info@ryanholtz.ca if you would like to be on the show, or you know of somebody who would be a great addition to interview on the Ryan Holtz Show podcast. I would love to hear it. Please head over to ryanholtz.ca and subscribe to the blog. I will not spam you, but I merely want to keep in contact with you and provide you with some good value. And of course, this podcast is always powered and produced and sponsored by Ryan Holtz Marketing Consulting and Training. We are a full-service social media and digital marketing agency. We do everything from web design to social media management to campaigns. You know what we do and how we do it, and thank you for all the support on that side. This podcast is dedicated to my son, Daijon Ryan Holtz. He's born November 2nd, 2016. I'm so looking forward to when he gets older and he gets to play this, I guess what will be a very, almost similar to like tapes or something, very dated podcast of audio of his dad talking about all kinds of weird stuff. But son, when you listen to this in 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, you are always going to know that your father is your number one fan, your biggest supporter, and loves you immensely, unequivocally, unapologetically, thoroughly, wholeheartedly, with everything I have. So happy birthday, my son. I love you. To every other parent out there who's raised kids, thinking about having kids, I salute you. I respect you. We embrace you. My wife and I look up to you. It is a journey like no other. It is a blessing like no other. And it will challenge you like no other. Everyone, this has been episode 19 of the Ryan Holtz Show podcast. I love you. Take care. Be blessed. Be well. We out. Peace.